Good morning. Well, how honest you are, or rather, the better question would be how authentic you are, because you need to be authentic even if you are dishonest. You know, to thine self be true. You should be honest to yourself. It's immaterial what you do. It's immaterial what your characteristics are. But as long as you are honest to yourself, as long as you are authentic, as long as you believe in believing, having faith in your credentials, in your credo, then you are fit to be called a real human being. What I call authentic. Now, authentics are a very few in the world. As a matter of fact, this is the most exclusive club, the club of the authentic. There might be a million throughout the world, there might be less. But you can be sure they are not more than a fraction of the total population. As a matter of fact, being authentic is first step, or rather the most important ingredient towards the goal of reaching self-actualization. And self-actualization, once you are able to achieve that target, is a real conquest of the world, because the word within you, your psyche, becomes the most important thing in the world for you, and you are authentic. People crib, complain, and pose. All these are not the qualities of the authentic people. Now, authenticity is not something which can be superimposed. It has to be achieved. And there can be various degrees of being authentic. And this is a need, as a matter of fact, which is human need, a deep felt need. Every one of you, every human being wants to be authentic, and yet is not one. Now, authenticity can be at different levels. The first is physiological, relating to your physical needs, your food, your sleep. They are your physiological needs. And these are one part of authentic. The second is safety. Third is social. And the fourth is esteem. Now, physiological is animal need. Every animal, because human beings are animals, needs to have food, needs to sleep, needs to have rest. That is the lowest form of authenticity. If you are authentic about getting food for yourself and your family, well, you are authentic as far as physiological needs are concerned. But are they sufficient? Then comes the spirit, as I said. Our safety. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your belongings. You have to protect your country. You have to protect your tribe, your clan. And ultimately, when you reach the top level, protect the humanity. That is the top level. And so it's a grading, proper grading. The third is social. You are a human being and you are a social animal. How far you are socially authentic? Do the people believe in you? It's immaterial again whether you are a crook or you are not a crook. But if you are a crook, people believe that you are a crook. And if you are honest, people believe that you are honest. If you are blunt, outspoken, people believe that you are so. People believe that, well, he just talks. He's not really that. And the most important is esteem. Do you believe in yourself? Do you have faith in yourself? Somebody asked me some time back that people criticize you. I said, yes. Doesn't that worry you? I said, no. My judgment is about myself. That's the most important thing. And I told that gentleman, I said, when I get up in the morning and go to the washroom, I look at myself in the mirror. And if I can look at myself in the mirror, meet my own eyes, my own gaze, and I do not feel ashamed of looking at myself, then I have been honest to myself, and that's what matters. So that is what is being authentic. You are honest to yourself. Once you are honest to yourself, you will not be dishonest to the others. That is what is required. So, you have got to achieve that status of being satisfied with yourself. Now, you would ask, what's the need of being authentic? The need is it makes you a human being apart from the common herd. A goat is a goat is a goat. A cat is a cat is a cat. But give the cat a name and she becomes something special. Similarly, here is not the name, here is a quality. You accept that this person is honest and authentic. You identify, it's an identifying mark. You know, all these great leaders, and mind you, when I say leaders, I do not talk of the riffraff who become the presidents and the prime ministers. I talk of the statesmen, people like Gandhi, people like Kemal Atatürk, people like Garibaldi, even Hitler, because he was honest to himself. Roosevelt, Abe Lincoln, President Lincoln, George Washington, Gladstone, Disraeli. These were the statesmen, Chanakya, Ashoka, Aurangzeb. They had no sham, cant, hypocrisy surrounding them. They were honest. Right or wrong is immaterial, as I said earlier. Being authentic is not being judgmental. So you want to be authentic, stop being judgmental. And that's the first step. But be judgmental about yourself. A person who cracks jokes, nasty jokes, is not and cannot be authentic. You have got to relate to the human beings, develop empathy. Empathy is when you see that something is wrong, you speak out. Going by the roadside, you see a girl being teased by a group of ruffians. There are two courses open for you. Either go and confront the ruffians or walk away. And I can tell you, 9 out of 10 of you shall walk away for the simple reason, who bothers? Who cares? It keeps on happening. And if I go, if they beat me, they are 10, I'm 1. But a real authentic man would go and say, hey, stop it. Hey, stop it, that's it. And you would see, once you do it, they'll stop it. But they'll stop if you're authentic, if you have fire in your eyes, if you have power in your tone of the words that you say come out of your heart. So feel empathy. Do not, as I said, be judgmental. You know, you remember my radio program, people used to criticize me, and my host asked me, don't you get angry? I said, no. They have a right to their opinion, howsoever wrong it may be. And it gives them the satisfaction that they have the courage to stand against me and talk to me. So if they are angry, maybe it is the highest point of their life. Why should I deprive them of the pleasure of being argumentative with me? Next point, if you want to be authentic, is whatever means you choose, right, wrong, honest, dishonest. I'm not a moral teacher here. I'm not going to say be honest with your people. Be dishonest, say you are dishonest. Once you say you are dishonest, you will stop being dishonest. And then do not discriminate. If you are making a judgment, say you have got a situation where you have to choose between the right and the wrong. Choose the right. Even if it hurts you. I've seen a case in point, two boys fight. One happens to be your son. What would you say? Would you have the courage to say, if you realize that your son is at fault, yes, my son is at fault, and I'm sorry, I'll make him pay? How many parents have that right and that capacity to do so? And that is what authenticity is. Courage to say what you feel right. Courage to do what you feel right. Courage to condemn what you think improper. It is not placating people. That's not being authentic. You see, if we look at the world around us, why is it that we see far less authentic people? Politically correct people can never be authentic. Let's be very sure, because they want to satisfy everybody, and you have heard that old fable. You cannot satisfy everybody. So at least try to satisfy yourself. And once you start being authentic, this is an infectious disease. If the father is authentic, if the mother is authentic, I can bet your children will be authentic. But if you are not authentic, if you are a hypocrite, if you suffer from sham, cant, hypocrisy, I can bet your children will beat you at your game. And whole world is today suffering primarily because of that, because people are not authentic. You know, when we say that we are living a lie, life is a lie. Are we living a lie? It's no fun. You know how satisfying it is when you go to the market and you find somebody is being cheated, and you stand up for the downtrodden, for the underdog, and say, hey, this guy has been cheated. How dare you do it? Why do it? Pay him off. Set the injustice right. Remove the act of injustice. You will have an urge within yourself. You will have an upliftment. You will have an elevation. And that is road to self-actualization. I use the word empathy. When you are really authentic, you feel at one with the universe. Where there is the northern lights, or where there is the waves of the ocean and the lakes, where there is a wind blowing through the doors created by the trees, or is the thunder and the rain, anything. crying of a child, blushing of a girl, happiness of a mom, all things. You will feel attuned to them. You will feel in consonance with them. And being authentic would elevate your neurologically as well. Your neurons would be more positive. You'll be more happy. Who is unhappy? Have you ever seen? People who are dishonest, people who are cheats, people who do not say what they mean. There is a difference between thought and action. Those are the people who are unhappy. Because an authentic man does something and forgets it. He says something and forgets it. He has no burden. He doesn't carry his soul on the shoulder for the crows to peck at. But a man who is living a double life is always concerned about that. I was watching a Pakistani play. Pakistani dramas are beautiful dramas. And one lady made a statement, it's at first difficult to speak the truth, but later on it becomes very easy. And it's very easy to tell a lie, but later on it becomes more and more difficult. The same, and that is really what authentic is. Once you tell the truth, you're authentic. Say, if you are a Sikh, you know the story of Guru Nanak when he told somebody, don't tell lies, and he was a thief. He said, don't stop being a thief, but don't tell lies. So he went there, and the story is a long one, but then he took salt, and one of the teaching was, don't betray the salt. So he left all the looted things there. The police gathered all the innocent people, and then he went there and told, yes, I'm a thief, because he had been told not to tell a lie. He got those poor people released. Now that is a story of self-actualization. You have realized that you are responsible for your acts, and nobody but you should pay for them. Imagine how sound would you sleep if you are authentic. But as I said, this is a very small and exclusive club. You have to work hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But honestly, believe me, be authentic. You'll enjoy being authentic. And you will have such an aura of bliss that you would never regret it. Start being authentic today. Who knows what happens tomorrow? But if you're authentic today, tomorrow is yours. So are the days thereafter. Thank you.